my alumni, you know what I mean? Boom, shakalaka!
Target locked. Ready to fire.
You can't handle the truth!
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. It is Tuesday, January 13th, old lucky 13, and we are here today. We got some CPI data coming in this morning. We got to talk about that. Powell under pressure from Trump, all ready to cut rates while inflation is staying sticky. We did not hit as high as what the expectations were. We were looking for it to be a little bit higher on forecast and consensus, but we did get inflation that didn't come down either. It stayed static. And so what does that mean? It means that Jerome Powell is looking at sticky inflation, going, can't really cut rates with sticky inflation. Need to see a trend of it downwards. Trump yelling at him to actually cut those rates. Will this be just another big moment of pressure on Jerome Powell? And he goes, you know what? I'm doing what I think the numbers are telling me, and we're going to stay right here where we are. 95% chance on the CME group right now for the predictions for the rate cut. Looking at the Bitcoin chart, we did get a little rally this morning on this data. You can see it right here. We have bounced perfectly on this line that we've been talking about, the $91,000 line. This was in line with the options for the gamma, the theta, the data, and delta, and the vega. And we got to bounce off of it, pushed above, finally breaking this resistance of the golden pocket there. Now we're stuck on a VWAP. We're going to do a whole breakdown on what's going on with Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at the silver markets and the gold markets, because silver is absolutely ripping. And of course, OC, he's got some opinions about the dash pump. So guys, without further ado, you know what time it is. Class is in session, and I've got the crew set up because we are in the 2-week window of Piper on another vacation. This is it's what I do. It's what I do. I invest. I do my YouTube show. I hang out with all of my beautiful friends here at the alumni and the Otter Gang. Thank you guys for joining us here. The Otter Gang rolling into the house, and I hang out with this guy, my co-host, OC guy. What's up, dude? How you doing today, man? Dude, I'm going to push your mute button. This guy.
Let's go. Well,
All right.
I need to move back and forth. This cheapo table does transfer every single thing that I do here in my charts. But cut those rates. Now, of course,
Bro, that's the calls. I'm telling you, like the thumbnail today. Did you guys notice something on the thumbnail? And this was not intentional. It was just AI doing AI things. I want you to look at the nameplate that says Federal Reserve and look at what it changes to. It says Feta Gel. I'm just putting it out there. Is AI trying to give us a hint? Feta Gel.
I think so.
Oh, good Lord. Let's go give a shout out to the chat, man. We got 141 people total right now, 139 sitting here over here joining us from YouTube. And then we've got all the rest of those beautiful people sitting over on X. So I appreciate everyone that's here watching us, regardless of what platform you're on. Let's go up and see who we got in the chat today. We got Brokoshi giving us a good morning this morning. Good morning to you, Brokoshi No Dinero. We got Alexander G saying good morning. I know she meant morning. I'll just go ahead and put it in there. Good morning, Army Piper and OC guy. Have a great stream. Appreciate you, Alexander G, the mod queen in the house. Loco for Crypto giving the good mornings there. We got Calvin Lamont. What's up, bro? That's my battle buddy from Afghanistan. Good old Calvin Lamont. Hope you're doing well, man, and staying safe. Ball and Wallen, let's do it. Decent Crypto. Good morning, y'all. He said. Who else we got? Bitcoin Bunker. Good morning, Piper. Love being here. Otter gang. Put those otters in the chat. Appreciate you. Who else we got? Isaac joining us. We got Hart joining us. We got Crypto Jedi. Oh, it's Ahsoka Tana. What's up, man? How you doing? Appreciate you being here. The Crypto Jedi in the house. Robert Mulligan joining us. I saw Veritech in here. So, Bill, appreciate you being here. The Blockchain Report is in here. Joining us also, let's see here. Wick's wife, 2Dub in the chat. 2Dub is in the house with us. Mike Play also joining in here. And I think I got everybody. 8 Breath, appreciate you. Heart, appreciate you. All of you guys. You guys rock, man. You guys are why I get up every morning to come here instead of sitting, drinking coffee, and figuring out how to occupy my retirement days. OC, Dash. Dash, get that chart ready. We're going to come over to Dash as soon as I get done going over Bitcoin. I want you to talk about your opinion on Dash today. Let's give everyone a little flavor here of where you think we are in the market cycle. Jumping over and looking at Bitcoin right now, guys. Bitcoin getting pulled back and rejection. I put this out in the chat over in Alex O Crypto's live stream, and I said, hey, watch for that VWAP coming in right about 91,600. Yeah, getting a rejection there. It is trying to fight back up. We're not getting a full reversal on the candle yet. Just a little bit of pullback here on the 4 hour. If you take a look up here at this multi-time frame screener, let me make it a bit bigger for you. I've been watching this for a couple of days, and I've been like, I'm not seeing any signs of reversals yet. Got it on small. Let's put it on large. Get big. This is a multi-time frame screener from Chart Prime, and it's got your prophecy indication, which is pump versus dump. It's also got your quantum reactor. It's got your reversal indicators, your dynamic reactor, and your volume flex reactor, all in multi-time frame. So you see it's got 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily. Daily is the only thing right now that's not looking good yet. 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, giving us smaller stones to bigger stones of foundational strength of a bullish move, as you can see, up all the way up to the 4 hour. Of course, we put this on the daily, and things start to look a bit different because we're creating a bear flag down there. So
Do you have a flag?
we have a flag. So yeah, guys, that's what I'm watching. I really think the key level, if we do break above that 4 hour VWAP, is going to be the 618, 94,237. Above that, we got 97,000. It's going to be our quantum, our dynamic reactor coming in to the downside there. So that's what I'm watching on Bitcoin right now. We're going to have more of a Bitcoin breakdown for you here in just a little bit. Also, projections, timeline projections and price projection all the way out through 2029. We're going to take a look at that today too. OC, tell us about Dash. Let's talk Dash, man, because Dash is up a lot today. When I looked at the bubbles here, 56.5% on the daily. It's up right now. What do you got for us on Dash, man? And give us your opinion, your honest opinion. You might want to get your tinfoil hat out for this one.
Absolutely. So I'm missing my tinfoil hat here, but I was saying, and Piper told me, save that for the show because I want to hear that out. So, guys, I mean, we've seen Dash right now. We've seen some other coins like popping. I mean, yesterday we took a look at CRV. Yesterday I made a call on CRV, ANKR in here, and well, that was about it. And I believe I did another 2 calls. Everything is popping, right? And especially those old coins. So seeing Dash, I mean, come on, Dash, guys. Dash, right? That same Dash, that 2023, 2022 Dash, yeah, that same one. I mean, this is no way to follow along, right? Because look at that, we're almost at the top. We have a power bar almost maximized in here. I mean, could this keep going upwards? Absolutely, it could. But I'm not jumping in until I see a retracement or I see a flag, right? Or I see some ranging pattern in here, and then I start breaking through that area right there. But I mean, other than that, I'm just not buying the top, right? But I mean, I was saying, hey, you gotta be kidding me. There's no way that we're seeing this random move with single kind of movement, right? That we're not seeing. That doesn't mean that we have that rotation of capital. We are on all season. I mean, I was saying just out of the top of my head, we need to be in all season. There's no way that we're not, which means, well, this signifies the end of the cycle. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm still on the long.
Did you say end of the cycle? Is that what I just heard you say?
Yeah.
That the end of cycle, the cycle's over? Is that what I heard?
That's what you heard. I'm still grabbing them up to my hopium, but that's what it is. At this point, we don't have anything else telling us that we're pumping or blowing up. I mean, this is really looking like a Wyckoff Bitcoin, right? Like a Wyckoff range to have a reversal. but I don't think that that's going to be more than that, right? We remember we're still within this Bitcoin trade. Our target it is 93,300, somewhere around those areas, and we are on this range. If we're able to break it, I think our target is going to be 110 or something like that. But other than that, I don't believe that this is going to be the continuation cycle. At this point, seeing the altcoins or the meme coins or low caps start popping up like they are. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. It's pretty crazy at this point.
You guys heard it. OC said this looks like end of cycle. So you heard it. OC turning pie bear. Drop the bears in the chat. There you go. Let's go check out some news and metrics and headlines and X marks the spot and stuff. We got a lot of stuff to get through today. So let's go jump over there to the news. We'll be right back to knock out some altcoins with OC. Hang tight. Looking at the crypto market caps right now into the Cryptoverse metrics for us here. $3.142 trillion on the total crypto market cap right now. The trend on this is sitting at $4.689 trillion. We're currently undervalued about 33%. How about those wristbands? We're sitting at 42. A little bit of an upside move. I did do my DCA purchase yesterday on a Monday, and I know typically I tell you guys Tuesdays, Fridays and Saturdays are the best days to DCA based on the metrics for 2025. But I went ahead and did it yesterday. I had a feeling we were going to move up today, and we did. So Bitcoin dominance right now sitting at 58.64%. Takeaway stablecoin still sitting at 64.71. Bitcoin dominance holding strong for us there. Liquidations in the past 24 hours, how they looking? Well, 86,132 traders got liquidated for a low amount of 168.3 million. Pretty low on the liquidation amounts today. Really, even despite this move, I think a lot of people were calling for it to go higher. So the largest single liquidation order happened on Hyperliquid. It was a Bitcoin trade for $2 million. How are we looking on longs versus shorts today? Still got more people shorting than we do longing, but just barely under 1% difference between longs versus shorts. Check out into the X marks the spot session here. Guys, look at the fear and greed index. We're sitting at 26 in fear still on the market. Longest time I've seen us stay in fear for really a long time, several years. Just in, Bank of America says criminal investigation into Fed Chair Jerome Powell could delay interest rate cuts. I'm thinking this too. I'm thinking that no matter what is happening with him on this case, no matter what is happening with, because look, here's the bottom line. If he was to cut rates now, people would not know if he was cutting rates because the monetary policy says it's time to cut some rates, or is he cutting rates because of pressure from the DOJ's case? And so that uncertainty would unravel global international perception of monetary policy and the strength of the U.S. dollar. So I think that this really does reinforce that we're not going to see that rate cut in January. Probably not even until like May when he's out of the seat. The U.S. could be required to refund $200 billion if the Supreme Court rules that President Trump's tariffs were illegal. This is happening tomorrow. So I thought this was very interesting. I think the markets will react to this because that's a lot of money having to go back, and we could see a sell-off tomorrow if the tariffs are deemed illegal. And a quick dump. I'm not talking like a sell-off because people go, "Oh no, the tariffs are gone." I think it's a sell-off because this $200 billion is now owed to somebody. So yeah, watch for that. A lot of volatility possible tomorrow on this data. Trump's Iran tariffs, if you guys aren't tracking, he put out a tariff on Iran, 25% tariff on any country doing business with Iran, effective immediately. Well, official trade data shows that China is Iran's largest trade partner. So, is the deal with China completely off the table? That is the question there also. This essentially is an indirect 25% tariff on China via Iran policy. And so now this means that the markets could interpret this as a threat to the China trade footing if enforced, not just Middle Eastern policy headline. Pair that with the Supreme Court ruling this week on Trump's tariff authority, and this headline goes from talk to real macro risk overnight. If the court backs Trump, tariffs become a live policy tool again. Global trade risk reprices. China becomes an actual target, not a subtext. This is the kind of geopolitical data point that can move risk assets and FX, which is your currency exchange flows very fast. Not noise, but positioning on a legal inflection. So be aware, guys. Again, lots of volatility tomorrow, in my opinion, coming. And then also Trump put out to the U.S. tech companies, because we've been talking about the AI data centers, and the things I don't like about the AI data centers are their use of water, especially in places like El Paso, Texas. That is a desert. They don't have a lot of water. And then also the power bills. These things use an enormous amount of electricity. We are seeing that this is being passed off because they're getting subsidized. Companies aren't going to eat the cost on the subsidies. They're going to pass it on to the residents. Trump has put out and said that these large U.S. tech companies must pay their own way for the rapidly rising electricity cost due to data centers. He said Microsoft is first up, and they will make major changes this week. Trump is going after electricity costs next. Of course, he went on through a whole thing about under sleepy Joe Biden and radical left Democrats. The American households' monthly electric bills went up massively, over 30%. Guys, I won't lie. That's a true story. Inflation on power is insane. And so a lot of this has to do with the energy costs from the Green Bill, the Clean Energy Act. And then also just these companies passing on what they know is going to be an infrastructure growth demand to the consumer, us, and not these big, massive corporations with their trillions of dollars. So Trump going after these companies now also. That is about all I got there. I do have a couple of things up top here that we're going to go over, but these have to do with things that are coming up next. So stock market right now, let's refresh it, make sure it's current. TradFi, the Dow Jones, the S&P, the NASDAQ, all in the red now, getting a pullback. I told everyone this morning, this pump on CPI, the CPI wasn't as good as people think it was. Just because it didn't go as high as they thought it would, the true CPI story that's still there is that it's sticky and not going anywhere. Dow Jones, S&P, and NASDAQ now reacting to that on the movement of Wall Street perception. So Dow Jones down about 0.6%, S&P down 0.3, NASDAQ down 0.4, the S&P down, or Russell 2K, I should say, about 0.25% down, and the volatility index up almost 4%. But still sitting under 17. Nothing bad there. U.S. Treasury yield 10-year getting a little flat movement today, down slightly at a 4.175%. But check it out. Actually, let's look at oil, $61, back above $60 oil is right now. But check out the precious metals. Gold is up 0.02%, still holding at $46 level. Silver is at $87.85, just down slightly from where it was earlier. It was over $88, almost $89. Wow, gold just went to red. Things are starting to sell off. It's happening. Silver right now, 87.73, but still up 3% on the daily. Copper slightly in the red at $5.99. It's about 0.59% down. Platinum is up almost about flat. It's green, but it's flat. It's 0.09. And palladium down about 1% on the precious metal side. Let's go check out the crypto bubbles and see how they're looking. There's that dash, baby. Let's go. Boom shakalaka for that one. Here we go.
Boom shakalaka!
Dash up 59.4%. Is this the end of the cycle indicator right there, as OC said? Possibly so. Let's go check out where we are. Bitcoin up right now on the daily, 1.4%. Ethereum, about 1% to the upside, getting a little bit of pullback on the hourly. BNB up 1.1%. Solana's up 0.6%. That's the top five minus that one stable coin in there. How's everything else looking? Big movers. Monero, privacy chain, man, up 19.4% today, still continuing those gains on the past hour, moving up one spot to number 11 on the total crypto market cap here, top 20. Chainlink also looking pretty decent today, up 2.2% at $13.48, very far off from $800 Chainlink. Stellar Lumen up 2.5% on the daily. SWE is up about 0.7, slightly down on the hourly, retaking back some gains. Zcash again getting another retracement of. Don't forget, their developers all left the team last week, and it's had some turmoil since then. Down quite a bit for the weekly. It's down 23.8% still. Avalanche is up about 3.1. Litecoin rounded out the top 20 in the red today, and Hyperliquid right on its tail, 5.82 billion, 5.87 billion, sitting at number 21. I think that if Litecoin doesn't find some strength, Hyperliquid with its decentralized exchange native token connection could see a little pump and be back in the top 20 really soon. Let's take a look at this data today, guys. This is the I'm going to just category this off to the prices and inflation, so there's not all the stuff on there. There we go. But here's our key data for today on inflation. So we had core inflation rate month over month, core inflation rate year over year. This is minus food and energy, and then inflation rate includes food and energy for month over month and year over year, and then our total CPI. Big picture on this. This was good enough CPI print, good enough to support risk, good enough to avoid tightening fears from the Fed, but not good enough to force the Fed's hand to do anything. For markets, this keeps the path intact, lower rates later, growth without overheating, and then volatility driven more by labor data and financial conditions than the CPI alone. Of course, we know our labor data, it was not great, right? For consumers, the story lags. Prices aren't rising as fast, but they're still high, and confidence hasn't caught up to the data yet. Consumer confidence, still quite low in the United States, guys. If you want, I can go up here and give a little bit more breakdown on this. Core inflation beat expectations. This was bullish. You can see that here. The expectations on this 0.3, it beat it. So no year-over-year reacceleration. Inflation is not reigniting. Gas prices are trending lower. That helps the headline inflation. That's really what kept this down. Was fuel was low. And then the rate cut window open for 2026 is still there, but in all, it's really sitting at 95% chance of no change for January. Let's take a look at March. 74.5% chance of no rate cut in March. April, 60.6% chance that we don't flip over that 50 line until June. Of course, this takes place after Jerome Powell switches in and takes over, gives up that seat as the chairman. Will he stay on as a governor? I do not know. But overall, yeah, CPI gave Wall Street some good news, but it won't be enough for the Feds to cut rates this month, and I agree with that. Looking here at the deep dive here on the CPI inflation, I'm not going to go through the whole article, but the one thing, there was increases in recreation. There were certain increases in food that went up. But overall, we did not see anything really come down. The static. A lot of people looked at these numbers again and said, "Oh, look, it wasn't as high as they thought." But guys, it stayed the same. That means sticky inflation is here for the haul. So, again, Fed Watch 95% chance. Oh wow, it's now 97.2% chance that we get no rate cut next week here in January. I guess a couple weeks from now. Apple, we talked about this yesterday right before we got off the live stream, guys. Apple has chosen Google's Gemini to run its AI-powered Siri coming this year. Right now, when I use Siri, it connects to ChatGPT for more complex questions. This is going to be interesting because we already know that Google's Chrome has already integrated into Siri or to Apple's Safari search engine. Now we're seeing Google integrating even more in there because they were calling it a monopoly because of their tie-in with Apple. But yeah, later this year they won that case, and so later this year we're going to be partnering Google up with Apple again. I told you guys this yesterday. Google had a pretty good move on this market yesterday. Google up right now about 1%, up 3 points. Apple taking a little hit to the downside because while this does boost Apple's usability for a lot of users, it's not really Apple's product. They're paying for this service from Google. So if you guys remember on that list of our AI data center places, one of our big hyperscalers on there is Google. And this is a good move for Google stock right now. What else do we have? Trump says Microsoft will make changes to ensure consumers don't pay for power and the AI build out. Got an article for that. I may just drop that over into the Discord. And then again, tariff gambit over Iran risk derailing the U.S. and China trade deal because of their dealings with Iran. So Trump trying to shut them off. That's what's happening there. OC, Let's go take a look at Bitcoin. Let's go take a look at gold and silver. We're getting some pullbacks right now on the markets. I think we should take a look at Bitcoin first, and let's go look at some of these debasement trade stuff. I'll pull up my silver chart after you get done with yours, and then we'll head into some altcoins and see what you got there. What do you got for us, OC?
Absolutely. Let me load first my Bitcoin chart. My internet is a little bit slow, so you guys will have to excuse me. But I have Monero right up in front of you guys, just in case you were wondering. So give me just one little second while I pull it up. And it's almost there. We're almost there, right here. All right, so we have Bitcoin actually pushing strong on the 4 hours. By the way, yes, a few years later. And basically, we're already hitting targets. So, guys, if you are still within this trade, just like I am, well, I'm going to be taking profits right at the cut because I haven't logged into my account, but I'm going to be taking 50% out in here and moving my stop to entry, right? I'm going to leave another 50% in just in case I'm wrong and we're not getting this dead cat bounce. And also, I'm right because I know, and we get this other breakout that we've been preaching for a long time, right? Remember, it's not about knowing or being right or wrong. It's about having a plan for whatever it happens, right? That's why on support we buy, on resistance we sell, but we never sell it all. We never buy it all. Right? Remember, be smart, always get some exposure and take your profits as you start getting them. Very important if you want to really play that risky game. Wait for your power bar to start going into a more shaded green. Also, wait for that overbought, oversold, overbought OB text in here at the top, and also wait for maybe one of those reversals triangles to also pop in here. Might be you might get not the very tippy top, but the way around or the pullback on that very tippy top, which is also fantastic, right? For me, I'm gonna play it safe and I'm gonna be taking profits right at the cut. So that's what I got so far on Bitcoin. Would you like me to take a look at silver, gold, or anything like that, or do you want to bring up
Gold.
silver?
You look at gold. I'm going to take a look at silver, but I want to give a shout out to Lunar Beaches Crypto. He broke 1,000 subscribers this morning, thanks to Alex Crypto, and of course, he's got some great content. So if you guys aren't following Lunar Beaches, I'm sure everyone in here is subscribed. But yeah, shout out to Lunar Beaches. Also, shout out to Generation X. I saw him in the chat here earlier. Also, along with JR, JR, a trader in our community, and Degeneration X. I met him over in JR's Discord. So shout out to Degeneration X. Appreciate you being here, man. You guys are awesome. OC, what do you got for us on gold? I'll come back and I'll knock out silver because we're hitting some levels on silver that I talked about to you guys over a year ago. So let's go see what you got on gold.
Perfect. On gold, remember that we were expecting either a pullback, a little correction, and correction is the key word in here because remember, we can correct over price or over time, right? And well, we were looking for that little pullback or correction, and guess what we got right now? We have a sort of a double top. Let's see if we can make another push back to our support area at previous monthly high. And as long as we have that flip of the ribbon, that's going to be our entry at the next support. And seems like the next support is somewhere around the 4,560-ish. So keep your eyes peeled in here. If we start breaking the 4,629, I would consider, right? This is not financial advice, but I would consider a BOS trade. Remember that a BOS trade, you could be buying the top like in here. So if you are going to be doing BOS trading, remember to have a tight stop loss, do not risk too much, and keep your leverage in check. So be careful because the next run up for that BOS trade, it's going to be at 4,714. So not much to really squeeze out of it, but still could be that opportunity that we could be waiting for. So looking for a possible bounce on gold at 4,570 notes.
Nice. Get it. Get it. Degeneration S6, best stream in the space, in my opinion. Good job, guys. Hey, man, we try, bro. I appreciate that a lot. We're trying to put out the info. Knowledge is profit. That's here at the Academy, man. Let's go see what that knowledge would have done for you on a silver call. Because if you guys recall, back in the day, I said, watch this box. We were starting to come down. We had the level here. We were up here, rejected off the golden pocket. And I said, this box, and I put it on here back then. I said, it's a green box. And someone said boxes shouldn't be green. They should be pink like Alex O's. I said, this is the buy level. If we hold this, we're going higher, much higher. If we break the golden pocket, obviously, we are going to head into the 786 and 887. That is going to be your extended platinum pocket, the 1.786, 1.887. What happened here? We came in off that level, bounced off of it, got another rejection pullback on the golden pocket, got a bounce on the 50%. I always say, if we're the 50%, think of it like the lower half, upper half. If we get a bounce coming down on the 50, we're typically going to go break through the golden pocket after a rejection on the golden pocket. That is exactly what happened. Textbook got to the 786 and we traded sideways here for about a full day yesterday. Finally breaking it and got a momentum volume, nice push there into the 786. Right now in the 4 hour, volume's still good. Money flow is still good. True 7 is still coming up. Oscillator ribbon has triggered bullish again back into a blue, which is a green. I don't like to use red and green because I have a son that's red-green colorblind. And so I know not to use red and green on everything. But what I'm watching right now is this absorption, selling absorption there, becoming a wick. Getting absorbed by the bulls for an upside move again. 786, $89.71. As I've been saying since silver was way, way back in the day lower, and we were getting all of this support down here on the quantum reactors and dynamic reactor, getting that crossover. That was when I told you we were heading for $100 silver. Still stand by that sentiment. And right now we are seeing it play out in real time, $88.51. I do think that silver still has quite a bit higher to go. I'm fighting the FOMO though. I'm fighting the FOMO because I'm sitting on a lot of silver, physical silver, and I know that there's a time that I need to sell it. I said I was going to sell some at 75, and then my spider sense, my gut feeling said, not yet. Hold. I'm waiting for $100. So every time I see a pullback on it, I'm like, oh, should I have sold some there? No. Patience. $100 is coming. Believe in your convictions. I've seen nothing that has changed the analytical cycle. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about on that, my job in the Army for many years was an intel analyst, and we did the intelligence cycle process. And so that process, basically what it's for is the how you take your data, how you aggregate it, how you remove biases, and then you make an assessment. You then produce your assessment, so on and so forth, right? And I turned it into a market setup for what we should expect from markets, and turned that into a market intelligence cycle. We have not seen anything that's given us new fundamental data on market analysis for silver to make me redo my analysis. So at this time, I'm still holding to $100 silver. So yeah, until then, control your FOMO. Breathe. Oh, see, what have we got on Monero? Let's take a look at that, and then anything else you want to give us. We got about 10 minutes, so let's get some alt breakdown going. What do you got for us, bro?
Absolutely. Let me first get started just for the momentum on metals. Remember that we were talking about aluminum to buy up at the breakout retest. Something important is that if you were looking for the retest, you should be already within that trade. And that's what I'm calling aluminum right now, because we have a quadruple divergence in here, and seems like we're having lower volume. So be careful, because this is starting to look a little bit more like a little final run up where we kind of can make a lower and lower higher, right? So if you are within that trade, we're going to set your stop loss. Your stop loss should be somewhere around the 313, somewhere around those areas. So be careful with aluminum. Might be a fake out, although I would and I am keeping that trade open. All right, just giving you guys a heads up. Let's take a look at Monero, because Monero, it's been, just bursting. Yeah, Piper, you need to tell. Doesn't this tell you end of cycle? It's screaming it to me. I still don't want it to be, right?
No. This one does not as much as Dash. What this tells me
Well,
is that you've got monetary policy and uncertainty of the Clarity Act making people flee to something to hide their money in. I see this more as a monetary policy fear shift in crypto more than I do an into cycle. Dash, absolutely into cycle. I think Monero, I think a lot of people are like, I need to put this someplace. I need to bury this in my backyard on the blockchain, my blockchain backyard, until I know what's going on to know are they coming to tally every single crypto token that I own. That's what I think there, man.
let's get it. Perfect. Absolutely. By the way, guys, if you didn't know, Monero is one of the secure coins that they cannot see or trace your transactions. So usually, if I'm gonna get paid in Bitcoin, I'd rather get paid on XMR or Zcash. But Zcash right now is not such a great coin, right? We see a lot of developers flitting out. So far, we are in previous monthly highs, looking for that rejection. We had the rejection, looking for that then little triangle. That's what I'm going to be looking for. If we get that triangle and finally we have the flip of the ribbon, we're absolutely gonna be taking somewhere around the 811, 807 zone up in here. So keep an eye for this. If we start breaking through, be careful because the next support is going to be at 578 for Monero. Let's take a look at TAO. We have a trade open on TAO. Let me clear this stuff so we have a better, cleaner chart in here. Right, finally, time to clean up charts, right? So something that's happening here, remember that we are looking for big resistance and big support, and we keep making this triangle. The triangle is a little bit more less steep and less prominent that I was initially expecting. I was expecting a flat top triangle, but as you can see, it is not. It is a bullish pennant, which still all right. And remember, we have a short open, right? And our target is going to be or it is somewhere around the 265. We are hovering over, and we already have the flip of the ribbon. So, guys, it's time to start taking some of this short out. I would really call for at least the very first 50% out. I'm going to be marking it here. All right. So selling out a little bit of that short. I know there's not that much of money into that short, but we need to start rotating with what we see in the charts. All right. I still remember not selling it all out, not buying it all out. And then my entry, if we get it, is going to be right down here at 265 or breakout retest continuation, or then a short at 328, 27, 28. All right. So that's what I got on TAO. Now for the winners. Yep. So
Go for
let's
it. I
go
thought you
now
were
for
done.
the winners. Thank you. ANKR, we gave it yesterday for the hackers, so hopefully you guys played out on this one. This was a very nice one. So consider taking early profits and moving your stop to entry. That's time to do that. And CRV, that was a much better one because we had another bouncing here. So that was, I mean, right there on the verge. So remember, we entered with half of a position. Again, time to start taking some money out right now and moving your stop to entry. And that's what I got so far.
Awesome. I know you got to get out of here, but I got to get in through this Bitcoin chart because I told everybody I would give them the timeline projections for 2030. So we're going to talk about that. Shout out to TradeFly. Shout out to Crypto Coin Mindset, both in the chat. If you guys aren't following either one of those shows, they got great content. So shout out to both of you guys. Much love, TradeFly. And then One Way said, Piper, an Army guy with the boat in the background, wishing you joined the Navy, Piper. Well, I like to cruise. I like to go on vacations, and cruising is one of my things. Especially, I got a little bit of Vegas life, casino. I got some beaches and some good drinks and good music, shows, entertainment. I love cruising. But funny story. I actually applied for all of the branches after 9/11, and the Army was the first one to call me back. So they won. There you go. That's why I ended up in the Army and not someplace else, just so you guys know. 9/11 recruit said, whoever will take me, take me, and left the bar business. And yeah, they could have had me on a ship, but they were not there. Dusty Hunt, I will give you a 10-second timeout if you do that again. Just joking, man. I love you, man. I leave timeouts for OC. Let's get over here to the chart, guys, and take a look at the at what I'm talking about here on the timeline. So, as you guys are aware, and if you're not, this is a refresher for those that are aware. And if you're not aware, then now you'll know. I have been watching this support on the 100-week moving average, EMA, and this 52-week SMA with the bull market support band, which is now a bear market resistance band. I think that we get our rejection here in this red box. This red box coming in at about 97.4 to 101.7, 101.8. That would be the top line on this, depending on how long it takes to get there. I think this creates a nice replay of what we've seen every cycle where we come down through the 52-week. That's, again, the purple line. We come through it, we bounce on the 100, come back up, reject, and that sends us into the bear market. I do think we have a relief rally coming. That being said, what does it look like for the cycles? Okay, so I've grayed out the next cycle here on a projection. We've got our next halving somewhere in the ballpark of the 27th of March, early April, as of right now, of 2028. Okay. And all of this is based on historical cycle trends, how long it takes from the bottom to the halving cycle to a top. That's almost a flip mirror on each side. And then we have our downward move, which is around, an estimated 413 to 364 days, somewhere in that ballpark. Okay. And then bottoms to bottoms are about 1,428 to 1,435 days. I've ran all this out on an estimation into the next cycle. Here we currently are. 371 days of a downturn is what we can expect, putting this around October 2026 for a pump, right? That would be the bottom, I mean. Looking at this from that point, that would put us about 532 days to the next halving. This is a little bit longer. We've had, 518 days, 539. So it's not too far out of question, but it's a pretty good length of time from the bottom into the halving cycle. Post-halving cycle, again, because it mirrors, and then we have our downturn. We're probably looking at September 23rd, 2030 for our next all-time high cycle top. That would mean that we are looking at our bottom from October coming in. That would be a 1,428 days to our next bottom again. So excuse me, not September 2030 for the top. That would be 2030 for the next bottom, because of the bottoms to bottoms, right? So we're looking at a cycle top in September 2029, based on historical timelines. This is time analysis from bottoms to tops, having to post having, so on and so forth. That's what we're looking at. So put this in perspective. We're talking mid-October 2026 is our bottom for this bear market cycle. Then we have a movement, whether it be accumulation or upward trajectory with small gradual increases coming into the halving. Then we come back and we go for the remainder of that cycle, which is the flip side of the halving, about the same amount of days for our top. So again, top side in 2029, early September 2029. Bottom for that cycle coming in around the same period, September 2030, all based on the timelines. Now, what prices do I think we hit on those? Let's talk about that real fast. I think that as it stands right now, we typically do get a pullback to our 786 every cycle on retracements, fib-based retracements, right? I think that comes in at $39,000. There's a good chance this cycle that we could hit golden pocket, not all the way down to the 786, just because of the absorption of ETFs, Wall Street exposure, stuff like that. So if that is the case, and we go here and we go, okay, well, let's look at this. Our retracement comes to the golden pocket. At that point, for that cycle top in 2029, you are looking at $193,000 to $211. If we do hit, like we have in every cycle, this Platinum Pocket, $39,000. Again, I think it's unlikely. It is possible, but unlikely. Then we're looking at a $143,000 to $156,000 Bitcoin retracement. And again, this has been the case every cycle. Small outlier there, break above it, but we knew in 2023 that this was our range top, 103 to 117. We hit 126, pretty damn close. We knew that in 2023 that this was our target. This is a trend-based fib extension from previous highs to previous lows. If the math trip plays out still, guys, I think that we hit the golden pocket. We don't go as far as 786. We're looking at a $200,000 Bitcoin for the next cycle top, and that will be again in 2029 September. So that's what I got there on that. I hope you guys got something out of that. It's pretty interesting when you start looking at timeline projections. OC, I know you got to go. Appreciate you, man. Head off to your Chart Prime class. Guys, make sure you tune in when OC goes live. He hasn't been live on his evening show in a while, but we'll see. We'll see. Make sure you got notified. Probably not today.
Yes, I just was fixing. No, I will be today.
Oh, okay, today. So yeah, tune in tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Trade live with those COC. I'll let you get out of here. Appreciate you, man. All right, guys, that's all we got for you today. Bottom to bottoms makes me think of Requiem for a Dream, but okay, I can see that. Crunk, it's also my slogan on Tinder. Mark Dutch, Jesus. That was an advertisement. Army of One. Yes, it was. Okay, cool. Hope you guys got something out of that. I just want to see if there's any comments about it there. Appreciate you guys joining us today. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. right here for the morning market report to break down the news, the charts, the markets, the headlines, everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until then, guys, trade safe. Use some risk management. We'll catch you guys later. My command to fall out, and to resume your rest of your day. Hope you guys have a great one. Fall out.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done. We'll see you at the next one.
What the fuck they're doing?
Morning market report out.
Boom shakalaka!
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude. Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?